Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Pepper and I are out here checking out some new packages we just got in the mail. So she's going to chew on a stick for a minute. But as you can tell by the box, you might know where they came from. Water is life. And I am a huge fan of having clean, quality water, air, etc. If you've been around me for any length of time ever, you know that health is important to me, sleep is important to me, vitality, just living your life is very important to me. So with that comes good quality food and good quality sleep and good quality water and good quality air. I try to take care of myself in all the ways that I possibly can. I do everything on the road that we can because we're in campgrounds all over the country and municipal water systems or well water systems or who knows what type of water systems and who knows what's in it. So I have good quality air filters in my trailer to make the air good when we turn the air conditioners on. And I have good quality water filters for when we put water in our tank. I've been using another system for a while. I've been using the inline filters for long before that. But VEVOR reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like to show off our new system here and we'd like you to check it out. So they sent me this system to check it out. You've already seen that I have a big water softener already outside of my trailer, and I have a big water filtration system, triple stage filter outside of my trailer. So I'm going to compare these two to that system based on what I see just from a product standpoint. And over the next few days, I'm going to test the water quality to see how that pans out. So first of all, we have the VEVOR RV water softener. Now this thing, it comes with a number of devices inside the box. So I have an extra seal, I have a 90-degree hose, I have all the fittings for various types of hoses I might need, and a shut-off valve here, which is really nice, and a two-way or a Y splitter, which is extra nice. I'm gonna love that. Wow, I didn't know it came with all the extra fun things. That's great. And here's your hose, and here's a handle. It comes all wrapped up for you with a nice pretty thing. So let's see if we can get this out of the box here because it is robust. There it is, nice and orange. It's just saying the warning on the side here that this system is, or this equipment is only used for hard water softening treatment. It does not purify water in any way. That's what this is. So 1600 grains portable water softener. I like that it shows me in and out on top. And it has my quick disconnects here, which is handy. All right, let's see what the instructions tell me to do. Safety rules, work safety area. Temperature can be 34 to 120 Fahrenheit. 16,000 grain absorption weight. Goes all over all the product that came with it. Shows you a little diagram of how it works and what's in there. And then tells you how to hook up your water supply, in and out, connect the water source. So this is a nice hose that it comes with, a drinking safe hose that you can put on the outlet side. It says secure in your vehicle while you're traveling. It tells you in here to do a water hardness test on your softener. So checking using those little test strips. And as it starts to get slightly hard water or very hard water, you need to regen this thing, and it tells you how to go through that process. You add basically a box of salt to it and flush for 30 minutes. Same as the other brand I have. And it tells you how to drain it and store it. You should never pull the cap off and drain it. If the water is going to be below, if the temperature is going to be below freezing at all, you should also drain it or keep it in some place where the temperature is not going to get below freezing. And some troubleshooting steps. Operates like I thought it might. All right, everybody, let's get this thing put together. Now that I have the instructions all read and we're ready to go. So I got my cloth here just to dry things off. It's a nice little, feels good. So you have an inlet and an outlet. And you got to think of your garden hose, which way goes out, which way goes in. So I want the female end to be the inside and the male side to be the outside. Let me grab a wrench real quick. All right. Handle installed, in and out installed. Now you do have these nice little quick disconnect adapters. So should you want to be a part of that process, you can put those in and they will just snap into this kind of thing. In and out, depending on where you want to put that. So if you want to have one of these on this side, or you want to put this thing over here and quick disconnect it to and from your hose, that's an option. So I can take this hose here, put my quick disconnect piece in it, hook that on there if I want to do that way. So there's another one of these that is 2 female sides, and that's for back flushing going the other way. So you would hook it into right here and go push water in the inside the outside for back flushing, so you need to keep that. And you can also have a quick disconnect over here if you had another one of these receptacles for your other side of your hose. But number of tools in here that I really like that they came with. Like, this is pretty cool that it comes with all the extra things. Okay, enough about the water softener for a minute. And if you've ever been around hard water, you know how important this thing could be. It is cumbersome to carry this. It's cumbersome to have this thing sitting outside. And unless you are a Tennessee fan or a Clemson Tiger fan or whoever the other orange folks are in the world, this thing is pretty bright sitting outside your door. But it's still cool, as long as it works. On to the next piece. And here is their triple stage filter. That's pretty cool. And it has rubber bumpers on the bottom so it doesn't scratch up your floor. Let's see what we got in the box here. I have a couple extra O-rings. Well, 3 of them exactly. Fittings and an owner's manual. The wrenches to get the filters off when you need to clean or change them. Let's see what this says. VEVOR RV water filter system. Safety precautions. Maximum flow rate coming through here is 2.9 gallons per minute. Working pressure is a 20 to a 125 psi. It has to be above 40 degrees to use it. So you get the filter housing. You get the first stage 5 micron filter, the second stage 5 micron activated charcoal filter. I'm sorry, activated carbon filter. The third stage is the 0.2 micron pleated cotton filter. You have 2 different wrenches, 2 different inlet adapters and exit adapter. So the hose, it came with a hose, thread seal, and a manual. And I would like to remove these filters just to check them out. I'll take these apart here. And you got this one as your 0.2 micron pleated filter, activated carbon cartridge, and finally your sediment filter cartridge. Now, one thing they do not do is they do not put which filter goes where. So I guess whenever it comes time for you to change them, you just got to remember where they go and change them where you're supposed to change them. I'm excited to get this system going and test it out and see how I like it. So far, this is a nice setup. The filters are huge. I don't know if it gives me how many gallons it can filter. Let me see. I guess it really depends on the amount of sediment and things in the water. Oh, it tells you in the manual which way the 3 filters should be lined up. So good on that. And it says replace filters regularly every 3 to 4 months to maintain water quality. So that's kind of what we do anyway. Every 90 days, I change out the filters in our other system, and that's exactly what I would do here. If you are a DIY kind of person who likes to do stuff yourself, it's an option for you to really put some system like this inside your closet, depending on the trailer you have, because all your water inlet stuff comes right there in the closet, and it's nice to be able to put a filtration system right there inside your trailer, and a softener if that's something you choose to have, and then you wouldn't have to worry about them freezing. So its weight, this is pretty hefty. That's also pretty hefty, and it's not even full of water yet, so that'd be something else you got to carry, and space. So again, I don't like leaving things. I don't like all this stuff sitting outside of my trailer. So we fill up our tanks, and then we go on about life. If we're going to be there for multiple weeks, I will leave it sitting outside, but that's not something I typically like to do. But I leave it outside to use it when I fill up my tanks, and then turn it back off and just leave it sitting there because I don't want to get it in and out every time. But it really depends on where we are. So I do wish they had made orange things out here to match the VEVOR color. It could be very specific, or made them a neutral color, but that's just my thoughts. But I will get the system hooked up and see how the flow rate is and all that mess, and then we'll go from there. I'll be back with more data coming soon. All right, everybody, I just came back with some drinking water test strips, and I'm going to test out my water before it goes through the system and the water when it comes out of the system, see what we get. So I'll put that aside for a moment. I'm going to get all these things hooked up properly, make sure I've put the filters in the right order. So water inlet number 1 is the sediment filter. Sediment water filter. They had them in the right spot from the factory, so that's a good thing. All right, sediment water filter installed on the inlet side. Next one is the CTO filter, actuated carbon filter. And the last one is our 0.2 micron filter. Get all these tightened down. We will inlet water first. Let me get my hose over here. So I'm going to go inlet first. All right, inlet valve. Now I'm going to take one of these drinking safe hoses from VEVOR. I'm going to put it on the exit valve. Tighten this down real quick, make sure I got it tight. Not the hose, the part that I installed. So out, and then from the outlet, I'm going to put it on the inlet side of my water setup here. This is where all that quick disconnect stuff comes into play. Okay, water disconnected. Quick disconnect installed. And then I will have my other hose over here. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is go get some city water from the spigot without the filter, and I'm going to test it, and I'll be back. Here's my untreated water. So I've got 0.5 iron, copper, and then the 6 different tests. Here we go with that. So 1001, 1002, pull it out, wait 60 seconds. So let me get this last one here, copper. 1001, 1002, and we gotta wait 60 seconds. So let's check on our iron. It's right between 0.3 and 0.5, so we'll just call it 0.4 iron is what I have before it goes out of the thing. Now the big test here is, so my total water hardness is 250 parts per million. Our total hardness is a 250 score. Total chlorine is pretty low, almost 0. Alkalinity, high-end range in the box here. pH is looking a little rough. Nitrite and nitrates, they're within the range. So let's see if we can make it better with some good water quality here. Oh, let me check these two again. I hear the water coming through. Maybe let some air out of the system over here. It's going to take it a minute to fill this thing up. I got a bit of a leak here somewhere. I don't know why I didn't put a rubber seal in there. Now we got all the things done leaking. I got some great pressure. I wish you could see how far that thing was shooting. All right, let me fill up my water jar. See what we got here. Well, there's still just enough daylight to test everything. All right, let me compare my stick colors. The iron test got light. The iron test got lighter. The copper test went down 1, and the big test. So the water softness went way down. The total chlorine, it's hard to tell in this light, but I think it looks a little lighter. Alkalinity went down 1 level. pH also went down. So I would say that's a successful test, meaning all the numbers went down on all the pieces. So pretty cool to see. Anyway, I got to get my mess cleaned up. It's too dark out here to do anything now. I'll be back with some more follow-up when I have some. All right, friends, to do a little follow-up here on the VEVOR water filtration system and water softener, we used it for a number of fill-ups. I don't remember how many to run the water through. Very happy with the performance of the filtration system and the softener and keeping the water clean and soft. I will go over some things I don't like about it. As you saw in the video, I had a little bit of a leak here on the inlets for the water filtration system, and it comes with some tape, Teflon tape. I put that on there. I got it mostly sorted out. However, screwing brass fittings into plastic things makes me nervous because I don't know how much torque to put on it, and too much will crack it, so on and so forth. So that's my least favorite thing about this. The housing itself is extremely sturdy. I love the big filters. I love that it's got rubber bumpers on the bottom, and connecting and disconnecting is pretty easy as long as you're using the quick disconnects. If you have to screw your hoses on or unscrew them off, depends on the hose you have. Some hoses have, where the end can spin separate of the hose, and some do not. So it can make putting a hose on or off tricky depending on which end you're doing. So all the quick disconnect things that come with it are fantastic. I love that feature that it comes with all that hardware right from the gate. So very, very happy with that, and the whole setup of the system. I'm not a huge fan of this handle being attached to these brass fittings either. Same here. Brass fittings going into plastic things, again, not a fan because I never know how much I need to torque it because I'm either going to strip them out or crack it. So that kind of makes me nervous here. But again, performance-wise, very, very happy with it. I brought them inside here because it's pretty cold outside where we are right now, and these things can't handle that freezing weather. So we got them inside being protected right now. I'm overall happy with it. I think if you're looking for a budget way to clean your water and soften your water, this is a wonderful option. Still love all the guys at VEVOR for all the things they do. Again, my negative feedback to them is putting a handle on these brass fittings which connect to plastic things and screwing plastic brass fittings into plastic things. So I don't really care for that. I wish they would come from the factory with tape on them already installed at a specific torque that is meant for this system. And one last thing about tightening, because the lip here, the top of the lip hangs over the edge a little bit from where you have to tighten this. Tightening this into here can be kind of problematic depending on the type of pliers or whatever you might be using to tighten this thing down. So that can be also problematic. But I like it. Compared to the other system that I have used in the past, I think the VEVOR is again, a very budget-friendly, great compromise. So, and I know I said this in the initial video, but the colors, like make it all orange or make it all blue or make it all something, because the non-matchy is not my favorite thing. Also, the other system I use kind of matches the Airstream with the shiny tanks, but I do like the neoprene sleeve though. Keeps it from getting banged up, scratched up. I also believe that this system is more suited or better suited for a large fifth wheel because you have a basement to keep everything in. This tank is much bigger than the other system I have. These filters are much bigger than the other system I have. So I think this would be more suitable for a fifth wheel because of the larger volume of water it can manage, and the filters last a little longer for, much more big family use. But for smaller trailers like ours, I don't know that this system is the right answer for you. But just a thought, you choose your own adventure. Thank you again to VEVOR for sending this out for me to check it out. I do love it, and I do recommend it if you're looking for a budget-friendly option to keep your water clean. If you have any questions about this system or anything else we do, please feel free to reach out to us via the Contact Us link on our website and/or leave comments down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you there. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy adventures, everybody. Bye.